Yeah.
Jenny said, I look nice.
It's a nice color, blue.
You know what? I would actually wear that. That might be the first.
Whatever.
That's quite the compliment.
Yeah.
He always tried to get your old backhanded compliment. I would wear that.
On today's show, our Skips Cowboys taking their foot off the gas at the worst time. And what does Shannon think about the struggling Patriots still having better Super Bowl odds than the Chargers? Yeah, Shannon, but first, let's get to LeBron and Anthony Davis. AD can't become a free agent until the end of next season, but the Lakers and Celtics appear to be in hot pursuit. ESPN's Brian Windhorst reports AD's best move would be asking for a trade this year before the Celtics are allowed to get into the bidding. While Zach Lowe reports Davis switching to LeBron's agency, Clutch Sports, could be a big factor. Earlier this week, LeBron was asked about the possibility of adding AD to the Lakers and said, quote, that would be amazing. AD responded to LeBron's comments yesterday saying, quote, I didn't really care. Obviously, it's cool to hear any high-caliber player say they want to play with me, but my job is to turn this team around. If we're 15 and 17, that means I'm not doing my job. So, Shannon, how should LeBron handle this?
Or you want me to go first?
You go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're just so used to. Maybe it's my turn
Skip,
today.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I should let you start here.
Allow me to help Shannon Sharp today. Hear me out, Shannon.
Okay.
I'm assuming that after the Pelicans played at Milwaukee last night that they boarded a plane and they flew straight to Los Angeles, California. Am I right about that?
Yes,
because they play the Lakers tomorrow night here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And I'm not assuming this. I know this for a fact that back in September, Anthony Davis, as Jenny points out, fired his agent and hired Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, which operates under the LeBron umbrella. I know it's not technically LeBron's company, but Rich Paul is obviously very close to LeBron James. They grew up together.
Yep.
And so now Rich Paul represents LeBron and Anthony Davis. So I am proposing, and I could be right about this, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that LeBron and Rich and Anthony Davis are going to have dinner tonight. That's what I would do if I'm LeBron. I'm going to put myself in LeBron's shoes. And I'm going to have that dinner at my estate in Brentwood, which is about a couple of miles from here, right?
Right.
And over dinner, I'm going to tell Anthony that the time is now, not later. I would say, Anthony, I need you to do something that is against your nature. I need you to take a stand and make a stink with your management that you are demanding a trade to the Lakers right here, right now, before this trade deadline of February 7th. So over the next few weeks, as we go into the new year, I would tell Anthony to tell his management to call Magic Johnson and try to arrange a package of players that you would accept in return for Anthony Davis. And I'm assuming those players would be Kuzma and Lonzo and Brandon Ingram. Would that be enough to do this deal? Would the Pelicans accept that? Would they be happy with that? I'm just going to guess yes, because two things are operating here. LeBron is not getting any younger. He's in his 16th season.
That would be true.
Okay? And number two, right now, the Lakers would have what I would call an exclusive negotiating window with the Pelicans.
Correct.
Right now, Boston's hands are tied by this weird rule of designated player because they had already acquired Kyrie.
Right.
So until Kyrie's contract expires, which is not until next summer, Boston cannot trade anything. They can't make a big trade like this one. So right now they're out until the summer when all bets are off and they could jump into a bidding war, because if Anthony waits until the summer to turn down the max contract offer from his New Orleans Pelicans, then it's open season. It would become an auction for Anthony Davis. And I'm guessing just about every team in the league would try to do something, right?
I would agree with that.
There would be packages coming in from everywhere, starting with the one from Boston, because they have more draft picks than the Lakers do, obviously. And then you could say Jason Tatum is a little better than any of those three. Is he better than Kuzma? I'd have to give you that right now, but Kuzma's coming.
Kuzma's coming.
He is coming. So my point is that you need to do this now if you're LeBron, because this is my take from both these two players. I believe LeBron needs Anthony right now. He needs him right here, right now.
Okay.
And I also believe Anthony needs LeBron. By the way, there's a big MVP matchup that I watched every dribble of last night up in Milwaukee between Giannis and AD. And AD came up short again. So, again, I think he needs LeBron. That's the kind of player who could take Anthony over the top. I think they would be good together. So I'm just going to do the hypothetical. If those 3 kids go to New Orleans, then down the stretch of this year, post-trade deadline, you would have Rondo at the point. Then they would need Rondo. And, again, he and Anthony were really good in the playoffs in the first round against Portland, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you'd have Rondo, LeBron, Anthony, and you'd have to mix and mash if you still had Josh Hart, KCP, Lance, Michael Beasley. You'd probably acquire another shooter if you could at the trade deadline, like a sort of a spare part shooter.
Right.
And you still have JaVale and Tyson Chandler. And that's how you would have to roll. And I would like that lineup a little better on experience and star power than I would what they have right now with the kids and the cast-offs.
Right.
So if I'm LeBron and I have this little window right now, I'm having that dinner and I'm going to tell that young man, this is what I need you to do for you and for me.
Right. You know what, Skip? I can't say I disagree with you. I believe he should probably go because he's done a great job thus far of not putting pressure on Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka this summer of going and get a second superstar. Because he could have done it. He's like, look, I need you to move heaven and earth to go get Jimmy Butler or get Kawhi. He didn't do that. He says, I'm going to trust Magic. I'm going to trust Rob Pelinka and their vision of what they see for this basketball team. But I think the time is now. He needs to put that pressure. But he also needs to explain to Anthony Davis, do you understand the criticism and the blowback that you're going to receive from the fans for requesting this or demanding
it?
Do you understand that now? You must be willing to handle this type of criticism because Anthony Davis had it real good. He went to the University of Kentucky. He won a national championship. He was the first overall pick. He's been an all-NBA player. So life has been good for Anthony Davis. He's really never had criticism.
It's been peaceful. I would agree.
So now the criticism is going to come because they're going to say, oh, you can't beat him. You want to go join him.
Yep.
So you understand what comes along with this, AD, right? Okay, you're good with that. Also, I think another thing, Skip, LeBron, we're 31 games in. LeBron, you know what you have now. Now, you've gone through one situation where Rondo got suspended, B.I. got suspended, and you had a nice little rotation. It came back, okay, now we're going to figure it out. Rondo gets hurt, B.I. gets hurt, so now you're going to have to go through a shuffle again. 31 games in, what's the likelihood of someone, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, whomever the case may be, what's the likelihood over the next 5 months, Skip, someone drastically changes? You are what you are.
Okay.
Okay, so
and they just went 1-3 on their road trip.
They went 1-3 on the road trip. And clearly, look, I love Kyle Kuzma. And for me, Skip, I believe, is Kyle Kuzma better than Brandon Ingram? I don't know. But I do know this. He plays better with LeBron than Brandon Ingram does. And so by that, he's a better fit with LeBron. But if I have a chance to get 6'10", Anthony Davis, who averages 28, 12, 2.5 blocks a night, Skip, I got to move heaven and earth to do it. I'm sorry. I don't really want to get rid of Kuzma. The other part, look, I think Lonzo can be good. I don't see transcendent like you do. But, Skip, this guy is a generational player, Skip. And I know you said, well, you don't see. But, I mean, he can go get you 41 and 17. And so he's legitimate. And maybe LeBron has to concede some of the shots as opposed to saying, you know what, in a year or two, I'm willing to be number 2. That process might get sped up with Anthony Davis coming. But you have to be willing to do that in order because, and again, like you said, Boston can't do anything. Skip, look, if I'm negotiating with you, say you want to sell a car, you want to sell your home. If it's just you and I negotiating, I got a good chance of getting what I want at the price I want.
That is true.
But once Jenny come into effect, or this and A and B and C and D, now all of a sudden it gets into a bidding war and you're going to take the best price even if you and I are good friends. Like, hey, Shannon, we're friends, but buyer B offered me about substantially more than what you did. So, as you mentioned, you wait till the offseason. Not only are the Celtics going to be in play, there are going to be a lot of other teams that's going to come into play. Like the Cowboys, Skip, the Dallas Cowboys know if they wait until the offseason to try to deal for Amari Cooper, there are going to be 30 other teams that's going to come into the fray with maybe better than what you have. So let's go ahead and get this, nip this in the bud, and we're not going to have to worry about it. I believe that's what the Lakers should do in this situation. If Anthony Davis is willing to go to it, now, understand, Anthony, you might make this demand behind the scenes, But they're going to leak that information.
They will. And you're going to have to back it up publicly, and you're going to have to stand up to it, and you can't back off it. And he even said last night in the locker room after the game in Milwaukee, I love New Orleans. I speak their slang. I love their food. Well, that's warmth.
You can have that food sent to you. Skip, for me, why else would you change agent? Anthony Davis is a supermax player. No other agent. It's not like Rich Paul can get him $300 million as opposed to the $239 for 5 years that